Hello, hello, welcome in everybody. So today we're going to be doing a reading on any issues or any challenges that you're currently facing. So this one's going to work kind of like how traditionally I would do the pick a piles. There's three cards. There's you pick a pile, you listen to your message, you go on your merry way. With this one though, when you're picking your pile, think of the issue or the problem that you have in hand. It could be regarding work, relationships, who are you, how do I connect with who I truly am I living my purpose, right? Whatever that is, there's going to be nuggets in the messages. Like always, take what resonates and move on with the rest of it. This isn't a personal reading, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates to your particular situation, how you can get the best, the best answer for you. And it's not going to be an answer, so to speak, it's going to be more of just a way of figuring things out, figuring out how to have the conversation you want with your partner, or how to go about finding out what my true purpose is, all those kind of things. So whatever it is, it can be anything. It can be seen as trivial or as like spiritual as you want. Trivial isn't bad. It's just like, whatever. It can be whatever you want. And then you can think of different topics and maybe listen to other piles if you feel called to that as well. Okie dokie. So that's the theme. And so the information that will come through is going to be more overarching because it is a collective reading as well. Okay, without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to do 3 piles. Description below, you can jump straight to your video, but I'll give you a little bit of time after this. Otherwise, you can pause the video and really feel into which pile is right for you with whatever query you've got on mind. This one kind of hit my hand, so I'll take that one. Okay, dokie, these are going to be the cards to help you pick your pile. There's a bit of light reflecting off them. Okay, so we've got pile 1. So pile 1, you have the titanium rainbow quartz with awakening all chakras, ultimate manifestation, vibrancy, and powerful shifts. So this is what the crystal would look like. For pile number 2, you have water with emotional intuition, psychic powers, and healing. This deck does have the 4 elements, so that's why water is in here as well. And for pile number 3, you have Carnelian with self-trust, relationship rejuvenation, powers of concentration, and healing from abuse. Okay, so these are going to be your 3 piles. I'll give you a bit of time to sit into the energy and pick whichever one calls to you. Just so you know, I'm also playing handpan music by Multi Martin. You won't be able to hear it, but that energy flows through me and flows through this stream today, or this message today. It's called Serene Forest Meditation, and it is 1111 Hertz. So yeah, that's going to go on for an hour. So by the time I get to some of the later piles, the music will change and I'll let you know. All right, well, I will see you in your reading. Hello, hello, welcome to your reading pile number 1. So you've chosen the titanium rainbow quartz, and remember this is going to be a message that's going to help with a particular situation, challenge, issue that you're focusing in on at this time. With this one, it does feel like this is going to be more of a pile in regards to, I think for some, or maybe like half, it's going to be talking about trying to find meaning or understanding in a situation or purpose in a situation. The other side may be looking at, how do I deal with all this madness in the world, right? Or how do I focus in on dealing with all that, dealing with just life in general, it could be. So if those sound like really where this may be coming from, then continue with this one. If it doesn't, maybe just check in if you want to see with another pile. But this one does feel very kind of like from a higher perspective, more so than the earthly. And so if it's like a particular issue you're having with a particular person or something that's very like earthy, then that's the only thing. However, stay with it. If this feels like you're the right pile for you, then please, by all means, continue with this one. But we'll have a look at what comes through. You've got awakening all chakras, ultimate manifestation, vibrancy, and powerful shifts. I think a while ago, like maybe I bumped into, hang on, I didn't even finish my sentence. Maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, there was a lot of people trying to awaken, just like, how come I can't awaken? Awakening. But still focusing in on things that, block unconditional love, basically. So that seems to have stopped or halted. And I don't really know why, but I don't know, it's just something interesting to consider. Like, are you, most of the time, it's kind of like, when you're looking for a partner and you search and search, you find a whole lot of like people that you don't gel with, and then you kind of just stop trying so heavily to search for something, so you stop, and then someone comes along. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's not like you've given up, so here's the person. It's more like you've stopped focusing on the other person bringing you peace, happiness, and love. You found that within yourself. Now you're starting to like be good within you, and then someone comes along because they see that light, right? Whereas it's kind of like if you're searching for the light outside of yourself. Oh my God, that song, Search for the Hero Inside Yourself. I'm not going to sing it because can't sing. But yeah, anyway, that kind of thing. It's got to come from within, basically. So this is going to be an interesting reading. I'm trying not to get too heavy into it yet. But these were the only cards that wanted to come through. I kind of want to grab something, though, from somewhere. I think I want to grab another crystal card. Do I want to grab another crystal card? Yeah, I'm going to grab another crystal card from a different crystal deck. This one is the Crystal Wisdom deck. Why do I need lots of crystal cards? I probably don't really, but I did get this one free in a box, like a box of crystals and stuff. So that's why I've got it. And I like it, right? It's good. It's a good deck. Let's turn it up, right? All right, I'll grab one more crystal card from here. Okay, this one. So you've got Painite with Passion. I think it's Painite. Sounds not so healthy, right? But this is really focusing in on the passion, empowerment, and motivation. Root chakra, elements are fire and earth. And it says down here, similar to other red gemstones, Painite is associated with benefits linked to passion, vitality, and motivation. However, the elusive nature of the stone has shrouded it in mystery, making it challenging to pinpoint a precise healing properties. That's interesting because maybe that's part of your challenge, right? It's hard to pinpoint what to do. It's hard to know if I'm going on the right path or the wrong path, or it's hard to know what is the right modality for me in this world. How do I move through it with all this pain and stuff, or all this challenge and stuff? And it's hard because we're only given the toxic, the tragic on the news. We're only showing that kind of stuff. But if you look at like Good News Girl or like other people out there cleaning up the oceans, right? There's that kind of thing. There's people that talk about nice stories. People on Dodo, like finding an animal that's been abandoned or lost or something like that, healing it and rehoming it, right? There's so much good out there. So if you're really focusing in on like all the pain and stuff, then that's what you're going to see as the world, as pain, and then that's what you're going to feel because you're focusing in on it so heavily. So maybe that's just the first step to identify, and sometimes you don't need to pinpoint exactly what the issue is. It's just about diversifying your portfolio of energy expenditure, right? Like I'm going to spend, instead of focusing in on the news all the time and spending my energy here, I can still watch the news and then watch 1,000 other things, but instead of putting 100% here, I'm going to put like 1% here and like diversify, right? Sounds like I'm trying to sell shares, but you know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. Where you put your focus is really important. So you want to make sure you're focusing in on things that are uplifting and helpful and true as well, whether they're hard or not, is how you view it. But polarization of like everything is bad or everything is perfect, I'm just ignoring the other side, is missing the whole point of being here. Okie dokie. Let's see. You've got inner guide from deep inside, search for the hero inside yourself, right? This is literally it. Inner guide from deep inside. This is your, you could say your inner voice, higher self, whatever you want to call it, your guides, spirit guides. This is just you that is the, you could say the subconscious version of you, the one that's not always making the conscious choices, right? Sometimes the dream time aspect of you that goes on adventures or goes into the depths to help understand what's happening in this lifetime. So that is where we really need to start. The outside world isn't going to tell you who you are. They can do. The outside world could, like, someone could be born and it's like, you're a doctor, right? You've seen those silly little joke things on Family Guy. It's like, are you doctor yet? That kind of thing. Kind of like not a great stereotype, but you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of thing. It's like that person doesn't have to be a doctor just because their parent or the outside world tells them that's what they're supposed to be. You figure that out through what you enjoy, where your heart goes, what brings you light. And if it hasn't, you know, if you don't know all of it, that's okay. No one really knows everything about themselves. That's why they're going out there being like leaders or healers, right? All sorts of different things in hospitals and like, or trying to climb up the corporate ladder and legals as lawyers, right? And make the most money. All trying to figure out things. And they're just playing the game at the same time, which is this world as it is. You've got creative. This wants you to start activating your creative juices. You can see here, not everything is as it seems. This is an umbrella, but it's also got a face on it. So, and in the back here, this chair has faces. Like, things aren't always as they seem. So really understand where your energy is going. This is going to be what's important to dealing with this situation or this this challenge, right? This thing that you're querying about, your query. Okay. I like this though, right? The creation is, you're the creator. The outside world doesn't tell you who you are unless you let it. So stop letting it. Start trying things. If you were looking at trying to figure out who you are and are you on the right path, well, how do you feel about the things that you're doing? Does it spark any interest or light? Are you trying different hobbies that will do that? If you're available to cut work hours back, is that a possibility so you can explore those things? If that's not, are you able to look into trying something on the weekend if you get like a weekend off, or surely you have a day off, right, where you can try different modalities, maybe connecting back with your belief system like meditation or church if that's your cup of tea, right? Whatever you subscribe to. That's where this is coming from. Okay. Let's grab some more cards, please. Can I get that one? Now you've got transportation, wealth, and fulfillment. I like this card because when we think of wealth, no doubt, unless you've retrained your brain, no doubt if you're, you know, in most countries living wherever you are, wealth is seen as money. And right next to it is fulfillment. Does money bring fulfillment? Not always. It can do in some parts, but once it's like there's a happiness study or something like that they did. I say they, like, you know, people that are researchers and stuff like that. So they've done it where this was very old, so I don't know how relevant it is now, but at a certain point, once you're above like pretty much the poverty line and you're able to focus on food, you know, you don't have to focus so heavily on food, you're able to get enough to survive, you're able to pay your bills. That is when people like above, the happiness doesn't necessarily correlate with like money, right? Once you get to a sustainable kind of like plateau, that's when happiness is kind of peaked. It still goes up very, very slightly, but once even you go into like billions of dollars, it doesn't correlate to actual happiness. So this is what's important, understanding what is the happiness, where do I need to go, where do I need to start shaking up the way I do things, that kind of stuff, right? That's what's important here, is to really understand what fulfills me. And that has to come from you, not come from anything outside of you, right? Nothing. People need to live their own lives, like outside of you. They can't be reliant on you to live their life through them, you know, from that parent style scenario. That's not sustainable for you, and it also doesn't really help them, even though they think it will. That's why you see some parents where the child has gotten what they wanted, got this, got that, and they're like, good, kind of thing, right? It hasn't actually fulfilled them, but they've followed their instructions and to the letter and done exactly what they want, and they still feel like, well, you've given me a grandchild, you've become a doctor, you give us the money or whatever the deal is, right? Or whatever. Good, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? It isn't really, it doesn't feel like they've fulfilled, because they know that they've only projected their own issues onto someone else. And if someone else has fulfilled them, well, I mean, good, I guess, right? But where's the relationship? Where's the unconditional? Why was it so conditional? Why was the love so conditional on who they became, rather than living your life freely and truthfully and honestly? You gotta search for the hero inside yourself. You've got Carbuncle and Chakana with Discovery, Unearthing, and Unknown. This is a little carbuncle, and he's going down here to go inside to figure this all out. You know, you've got. I mean, like, it's all within. Find your passion, find your creativity, what sparks you, what is really fulfilling you. This comes from within you. Stop trying to make excuses for someone else to fulfill that, or for you to live up to someone else's expectations, because it's not going to happen, and it doesn't work like that. That's how you move forward. That's how you find fulfillment. That's how you find happiness, peace, and how you deal with even the outside world. This is such a cool card. I really like it. If you've ever seen a little carbuncle, they're kind of like a mythological creature from South America. They have gems on them, so it's kind of like the mentality of hunting them to find the gem. Unfortunately, I think that meant like armadillos were kind of like targeted for it, because they kind of like seem like a cross between an armadillo and some little alien looking creature. But yeah, I don't know too much of the in-depth stuff about them, but they are kind of cool. They're meant to be followed to find your freedom, or like your fulfillment, or your wealth, right? Like literally part of all these cards, exactly what they're saying. And even here, this vibrant shift, these are very colorful, vibrant crystals, right? Very pretty. Okay, so let's see what else. Figure out what you love. Two of Cups is also a contract, and you know, more of an emotional agreement rather than a physical, I have to have this in writing, right? Unless you've popped in here from a message of wanting to know how you can get this job or deal or something. Check in with yourself if it's what you love. If it's doing something that's not just a job, it's like what's going to bring you fulfillment. This is kind of sweet. There's something sweet about this. you've got the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is an extreme of how you hold money or energy, right? Sometimes it's like the people on one end get the money and they have to quickly, like it's burning a hole in their pocket, right? They have to get rid of it. It's like they don't think about it. And the other side is hoarding it because they fear of one day not having enough to be able to do this, that, or the other. So they hold back and they don't try things because it's like, well, that's going to cost money. I don't have the money. You do have the money. You just don't want to spend it because you're holding it onto fear. So there's like two aspects of that. Something sweet about it is like, also if we're talking about energy or emotions, it's like it's hard to open up about what this is. You might even need to go back into the past and see what you enjoyed as a child as well, because that could have some, it's not always like the specific thing. Like if you were like, oh, I want to be a fireman, right? And you don't really want to be a fireman anymore, but what was the energy felt like when you were thinking of a fireman? What did it mean to you? Was it because they were strong? Was it because they were brave? Was it because they were like, I don't know, going into dangerous areas and being a hero, right? That Search for the Hero Inside Yourself is really funny because I haven't heard that song in so long, but now it's ringing through this whole reading. I haven't heard that song, so I need to listen to it after this. Got the Six of Pentacles. It's definitely involving kind of like trust or belief in self in one hand, or just money, right? Basically, the Pentacles can just mean money. You've got the Six of Pentacles here. This idea of giving back, windfall coming through, especially if you are like desperately wanting something to change. I don't know if it's going to go exactly like if this is planet Earth, right? Things we want don't always come in the way we want them, but there's going to be an event that will occur that will give you the opportunity to expand or to see what this is or to feel how this goes, like a new pottery class or something when you've never done pottery and you just try it and you get inspired. And maybe it's not pottery, maybe it's like just having clay in your hand and sculpting. Who knows, you know? That's why we're here. We try different things to see what our soul or ourselves or both really sing to in this lifetime. What is it really? How do we really feel about it? Okay. You've got the Five of Pentacles as well. There's something with self-love here. Five of Pentacles traditionally shows the people outside, right? They're like injured or crippled or handicap or whatever, like they're disowned out of the church or out of the group, let's say. So there's this kind of like I mean, this is really interesting, but you're not going to find what you really desire in life by watching or figuring out through other people. Maybe there is some kind of that, but it feels like it has to come from within. If you're following someone else to try to emulate a life, it's living their life. They're already living their life. Let them live their life. Follow your calling. If there's people that are doing that to you, don't worry about them, right? Unless it's getting to like stalker position where you need to call the police, then do what you need to do, of course. But you know, you don't have to be someone else's role model or anything like that, because that's going to put more pressure on you. The best way you can do that is just by living freely. So then you become the role model by default without trying to be the role model, if you understand. It's like, don't try to be something for others, just be you, because that will be more inspiring to them in time. They'll figure it out. I don't know if that's like pertaining to a particular person, but anyway. Regardless, the Five of Pentacles, she has a key, there's a door here, she is just stuck, right? She is just stuck. On the plus side, with here, unearthing unknown, you don't have to know where you're going and who you are. Know that you're a human, you're whatever your name is, right? And you're free to live as, you know, as a human and with whatever support and love that you have for yourself and that you surround yourself with. So really focus in on what fills you up, fills your cups up, gives you peace, happiness, love, life. Yeah, you've got the Eight of Cups, leaving the past behind, moving on, right? This can be in a challenging, or like, I guess it's always challenging, but this doesn't always have to be like in a bad way. A good way can be like when you go to university for the first time, or you move out of house. It's scary, it's sad because you don't have your parents like immediately there around you, or your brothers and sisters, or whatever else you have around you, aunties and uncles, cousins, etc., etc. Right? It's a different way of living. And every time I've moved from home when I was 18, I moved to another. Well, I moved out of a small town to a city, little city. That was like maybe like 2 hours away. Anyway, not a huge amount of time, but in New Zealand, any distance is a long drive because it's not a huge country. But anyway, you feel this, you feel that sadness and excitement, right? So it can be like a good thing and like a tricky thing, but it's ultimately gets you to live life and experience more. And same here, it's to let go of the past. And in a more challenging way, it could be like when you're packing your house up because you've left a relationship and they've either left or they're still there and you're still kind of awkward situation, right? And you're trying to leave, like it's a whole bunch of emotions and stuff. But this one's just saying like that's part of life, but once you let go of whatever is holding you here, if there is anything holding you here, then the future has the success, the fulfillment. It's not always, it's definitely never in the past. The past is there to reflect on rather than to be absorbed by. Last card, fulfillment and happiness. Yeah, you will find this. No matter how intelligent or academic or street smart or whatever you are, it always, for each individual person to find true fulfillment, it takes a lot of time and work and effort to understand ourselves, especially our complex selves, especially however crazy stuff we brought into this life, challenges with family, with exes, with like whatever, right? There's people that will pop into our life that we know we're connected to, but if we were on the outside looking in and someone else was in our shoes, we'd probably be yelling at them to run away from them, right? But we just feel like there's some kind of connection. Sometimes those connections you've come here to cut ties with. So cut ties with it, honestly and freely. Cut ties with it because there is fulfillment out there. You're not cursed or burdened to live some bullshit kind of like existence. You're here to live freely. Live freely, give back. Not to carry all this with you, to like literally be free. 10 of Cups, really pretty here. I mean, it's always a nice card, right? It's that fulfillment card. This is all about fulfillment. I don't know if I said that at the start of the reading. I can't even remember what I said. But when you've got fulfillment here, you've got connection and contracts, right? It's not always about love, but it's like about really listening and getting to know. So that is love, but it's like, how do I word it? It's not just about like milestones in relationships. It's more like real, honest, and true connection with self and also with people. And that's how you're going to get here. It's a path, though. It's a road. Uncovering. That song "Search for the Hero Inside Yourself" was playing a bit in my head, and I'm glad it's not playing anymore. All right. I think that's it for you. Yeah, this is going to be a path of self-discovery. Sometimes we utilize the outside and travel to other places. We interact with different people that can spark light or not inside of us, right? Sometimes it's just nice to like go to other places and experience new things. That's how I felt when traveling. It didn't inspire me to want to move to Europe or anything when I was there. It was just like, this is a cool place. There's a lot of history here. There's a lot of weird stuff here. There's a lot of like old meets new. And yeah, and it was just like, this is a cool country, or like, it wasn't one country, but a cool place to visit and see how the northern hemisphere works, really, which is much the same as everywhere else. But it was nice, right? It was different. It was unique. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there because I'm just going to talk about my own stories. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed pile number one. I really hope this helps you with whatever issue you've got going on with you or feeling. Don't feel like you're on the wrong path. You're definitely on the right path towards. There's something here with like financial freedom and emotional peace, right? It's like a peak or a height that you're not being disadvantaged from getting it. You're on that path already. But to know how to navigate that, it's through inner study and not outer things. The news, turn that shit off. Shut some of those old people down. If there's like emotions from the past, understand where they come from and let that kind of flow out as best you can. But like, it's going to take some time. There's no quick pill for this. There's no diet, weight loss pill that can just work, because those never work anyway, right? So why would they work spiritually as well? Okay, thank you for letting me read for you. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Hello, welcome to your reading pile number 2. Almost lost the water, it was up too high. So yes, this is your reading around help or assistance or even guidance around a particular issue you've thought of. You've chosen water, which didn't have a crystal, right? So I did grab this crystal decks to add to this. So this one says emotional, intuitional, psychic powers and healing. It does feel like it's going to touch on your emotions for sure, because this deck was calling, which is the water temple oracle, makes a lot of sense, right? And this one's sacred destiny. So we've got a few bluish, like a lot of blue colors here. I know at this time as well, there's a few planets around, and even the sun's just left Pisces, right? So there's a lot around Pisces, and if you go by sidereal as well, there's a shit ton in Pisces, I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure about tropical. I think there's a few there too, or we're about to exit on a particular planet, like out of Pisces. There's something around there anyway. Regardless, this one's going to be a message really for you to help with whatever is triggering or catching something. I'm not too sure. That's just how it felt. It's like something that's like snagging you, right? You know how you're walking and you walk past some vines and it snags you? Can't really ignore it, right? You can kind of like keep going and drag the plant with you, but you can just, you might need to turn around and deal with that snag, whatever that snag is. So we'll see what comes through. I don't think you can run away from whatever this is, either mentally, emotionally, or physically. This has to be dealt with. So let's see. Maybe not today, but in time. You've got Amazon Night, self-care, boundaries, and communication. Yeah, this feels like dealing with someone. Look, the throat chakra is coming through. Element water. Oh my God. What do you say? What do you say? All right, so Amazonite is, what does it say here? So it says here, Amazonite invites you to step into your feminine side, urging you to break free from self-neglect and prioritize your well-being above anything else. Even more, as the throat chakra crystal, Amazonite takes the meaning of self-care to a deeper level by encouraging you to speak up about what you need to set clear boundaries. So yeah, there's a very clear sign here with that snag, right? Whatever it is, maybe a parent, maybe a person, maybe someone just needs to be told. The point of like, for the point of telling them off or keeping them like small, it's just to let them know that you're not going to be a doormat, or you're not their savior, or this, that, or the other, right? You got to live your life freely without whatever the snag is, whether it's a person or a thing or something you know you need to do. Maybe take out some ashes that you haven't spilled or like poured out into the world and let go, right? Like of a loved one that's passed. I don't know why that popped up, but it was just like I was seeing ashes and someone pouring ashes. So it's like there's like something cathartic or free about it, right? A lot of what our rituals are with like funerals, births, that kind of thing, are ritualistic to like welcome in fresh energy or release old energy, which is definitely with like birth and death, right? Those are rituals. So there's something there with that for someone as well, whether they've actually passed or they're just out of your life. The clear boundaries could be with you as well, with yourself. not to let yourself get taken for granted by yourself as well. Okay. You've got Lord Shiva, Divine Fusion, Unite with Sacred Synergy. Kind of a cool imagery here. He's got the snake that he normally has. He's got his little, looks like mala beads or something similar to that. But anyway, Shiva coming through. Also got Aphrodite and Aries with lovers. I follow my heart. That's the whole point of this. This isn't telling you how to live your life. No one's telling you, in this reading anyway, how to live your life. You're literally being given guidance on connecting with self. This divine sacred synergy is like your other half. How do I word this so it doesn't sound like taken in a bad way? But your other half is like not outside of yourself, it's within yourself. And once you find that synergy or union within yourself, you're able to find that in the real world. You might think that's a lot of shit, but that's true. It's just how it's coming through, right? And because we've got the Lovers card here, you're not lesser than without someone else, is what I'm trying to say. You're already fulfilled within yourself, and everything else and people and things that are outside of yourself are here to enjoy, right? To blend with. So if you're not enjoying it, then why are you staying in it? Why are you stuck in it? I don't even care if it's like, oh, but this person said they're my twin flame, so I have to stay here. I don't care. Like, that if it's unhealthy, it's unhealthy. You don't have to stay just because someone says you do. And even twin flames aren't always for the lifetime where you're supposed to have. Like this little kind of dream sometimes people have of like, well, if I find them, then I'll live happily ever after. No, they're catalysts. Twin flames are catalysts. They are tower cards for you to shift and change huge amounts of energy and release on both sides. And if you connect with them too soon or try to force your way into some kind of connection with one of them, you could be actually harming yourself. So, you know, just take that with a grain of salt if it was anything in part of like your query. New beginnings. Yeah, this is very clear. There's like an opportunity to go on a new path, get out of whatever's old, leave the country you're in. I don't know if that's something you want to do or are interested in, but you know, that's the kind of level of the next phase. You're not meant to be sitting complaining about the way your life is wound up or in some kind of emotional rut forever, right? That's not like, your soul wouldn't plan to be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna have a shit life, right? And just see how that goes. Like, that doesn't seem like a smart thing for a soul to do anyway, but also not a realistic one. So whatever is taking your energy away, put in boundaries that are going to stop that. Easy. Whether it's going on your phone and watching the news or watching TikTok or whatever for like 4 or 5 hours, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, the whole day. Have some boundaries within yourself as well. Oh, you've got love next to Aphrodite and Aries. This is probably why I'm harping on about relationships in this message, right? Because here it is, healing. They got the healing card from the water and emotional. And you've got love. You deserve real love, not this idea of love. And real love is unconditional. And whether that's romantic love or just love of life or love of self or, you know, prioritizing yourself over anyone else, you're allowed to do that without feeling like you're not a caring person because you're focusing on self, right? You're not a doormat. Don't be a doormat. Okay, these might come out reversed because I have them all over the place, but I'm going to read them all upright. And we've got the Star card coming through. Yeah, following your hopes and dreams, wishes for something better. I like this one because she's not even pouring the water. She's contemplating the water, right? She's contemplating where her energy is going and her emotions are being pulled by. Is it being pulled by nature, her heart, the elements, a person, right? Where is it going? Yeah, self-care is necessary. You're going to burn yourself out if you keep pushing. So, you know, push if you want to, but know that burnout is real. So you've got the Four of Swords. Got the Six of Swords. I like this because it was like, I did say, like, move, go to a new country or something like that. And this one's traversing water, which sometimes can be, you know, going overseas via water or something. But really, these days we fly, right? But back then, when this kind of like, not this particular deck, but the Rider-Waite-Smith was imagined, you know, there was less emphasis on particular style. I mean, it was a different world. So a lot of the stuff is, you know, based off old kind of like archetypes. But here you've got the Six of Swords traversing. Can be rocky, but if it's towards a goal that you really want, I'd rather go towards a goal that I want that's rocky than sit in unhappy plateau-ness, whatever that means. Like unhappy contentment, not really content, just like flatlined, right? Yeah, time to plan and go on a journey for sure. You've got the Prince of Discs. This isn't one that just rushes off into anything. He's focusing on himself. It's almost like he's looking into a mirror, right? Because he looks like, I don't know, he looks kind of like a greaser, right? Like of grease or something. With that big pompadour, was it pompadour hairstyle? I don't know. I kind of am thinking of some stuff that just keeps popping up into my head. But anyway, got the bull here. Bull does charge forward, but also goes when it needs to go, right? Not just like willy-nilly, like a, you know, like one of the other knights or princes in this deck. Okay, so healing's important. We've got a snake here. Snakes can indicate healing. That's why we use them in hospitals, right? There's a lot of like the stick with the snake wrapped around it as a universal symbol of hospitals or healing or like, you know, medical care, that kind of thing. We've got the water, which is emotions, and water is healing, right? You can get a lot of healing from water. That's why people go to like the Dead Sea and stuff and float on it, like get the salts and stuff like that. There's like ideas in that. Water is really important here in this whole deck. We've got 2 water cards, and even here, I don't know why, but this feels like water for some reason. It's not showing any, but anyway. And these 2 cards depict water. There's a desire and a need to slow down, for sure. Doing things is not going to bring you peace and happiness. It's just going to show you that you're doing things, basically, which you already know that you're doing stuff if you're doing stuff. Your dreams and a path forward are clear to what you want to do, what you hope to do, what you will love to do, and a path forward with that. These 2 take some time, but if you're slowly working towards goals, it's going to be better than quickly going around in circles, right? Just to fill your day. I see that with too many people, too many friends in the past that have had, will fill their day up so much full of stuff and judge and criticize when other people aren't doing enough or, you know, whatever. And even then, it's because they don't feel like they're doing enough. Sometimes you don't have to do anything. Just be, you know, that saying, you're a human being, not a human doing. So just be. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there for you, pile number 2. Hopefully this has helped with whatever query or issue you've got going on. This is going to be a conscious decision. It's not just something that pops up and it fixes everything for you. It may just pop up, but you're going to have to make some decisions and choices whether you take it on or work with it or leave it, right? And trust your intuition. Trust you. This intuition card coming like here. Trust your intuition with this. It's really important. Okay. I'm going to let you go. Thank you for letting me read for you today. Take care of yourself, look after each other, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, hello, welcome to your reading power number 3. So I accidentally knocked that card flying off there. So you've chosen the Carnelian with self-trust, relationship rejuvenation, powers of concentration, and healing from abuse. Carnelian is like, I like it. It's a really fiery kind of like passionate energy from this crystal that I always feel. But yeah, these are the ones that are written on here. So remember, this is to help you with a particular situation, whatever you've got going on in your mind. This could be something from the past, especially with the healing from abuse or self-belief, right? Which could come from healing from the past in some way, whether it was abusive or just like neglectful or, whatever. That could be where this is coming through. If you've chosen this for empowerment, then take that as well, because this does feel like it's going to be more of an uplifting message in the sense to help you uplift, not so much to just listen and go, oh, that was uplifting. It's for like, oh yeah, I can put these in place that are going to keep me going instead of me relying on a reader on the internet, right? Or something else outside of myself. So with all the piles, I did grab an extra crystal card from a different deck, so I'm going to do that again. So I'm just going to see whichever one comes through. Grabbing this one. I think that's pyrite. Looks like pyrite. Let's see. Yeah, pyrite. Pyrite showing through with masculinity, protection, and strength with the earth element and a little mark. But this is focusing in on the solar plexus chakra. So we are focusing down with more of the lower chakras, right? The solar plexus, sacral, and the root chakra, like those foundational energies. All right, so it says here the wearer, pyrite acts as a vigilant guardian, committed to safeguarding its wearer on multiple fronts, emotionally, physically, energetically, and even against their own toxic patterns, which is something really true, right? A lot of us will be like, it's someone else's fault. I'm like this because of this, I'm that because of that. But eventually we've got to realize that we're in control of our life, unless you're still 8 years old, then you probably shouldn't be watching this. But like, if you're like 30, 40, 50, and you're still complaining about something else that happened in the past, that might be a time to look into that to see how we can, or how you can move on from that, or move beyond it, or move forward. It says here, where was I? Safeguard its wearers on multiple fronts, emotionally, physically, energetically, and even against their own toxic patterns. Yes. Additionally, it is believed that pyrite serves as an effective shield against potential effects of EMFs, electromagnetic fields. Okay, cool. So that is pyrite. It's a lot of like spicy energy with this, not in a like sassy way, but just in like it's just spicy. Like it's just it's kind of like you're wound tightly and you need to like let off some steam. Okay. So you've got Christy L, which I believe is just Jesus, just transferred into an angelic kind of form. So you've got Jesus coming through. I never really understood the heart thing, because when I was growing up, we weren't super religious, but we used to have some biblical stuff in the house, and there was a picture of Jesus, and he had this giant heart coming out of him, and I thought it was really strange. But now I know that it is the Sacred Heart, which I still haven't really looked into. But I will read this message from Christiel. Okay. And we also have Uriel. There's more fire, right? Uriel, fire, sword. He's depicted here as kind of like a Balinese. Looks like Balinese outfit. Really cool, but he's got a bit of fire here. Yeah, you're the fire sign. Like even, I was going to say Jesus, but Christiel's got the glowing hands, like there's like this light, right? Okay, I'm going to read the book first. Where is it? I want to read the messages from Christiel number 36 and number 6. So we'll see. This is about peace. I like that already. So it says here, a more powerful, sorry, start again. A more peaceful time is coming to you. You have worked hard to create peace in your life and the lives of others. Trust that as you do no harm shall come to you. This is a good point because I do reading sometimes on, well, every week, whenever I'm in Australia anyway, on Twitch. And whether we have differing opinions or anything, when we start to get into judgment, right, it's like, well, like this person might be telling a story, not necessarily in the reading or anything, but just like we might be talking about something that's on a TikTok or a news or whatever. And so when we start to get into, well, they probably only think that because they've never felt this, they've never had this happen, they've never had that. We're starting to criticize and judge externally from ourselves. And so the reason why I just want to bring it up, it's like, no harm will come to you if you do no harm. So where in your life are you criticizing, judging others, yourself? Because especially if it's yourself, then you're looping with pain, right? That's where this is kind of coming through. So it's not to criticize or judge yourself even further by going, oh, I'm criticizing, judging myself. Now I need to criticize and judge myself about that. No, this is about identification so we can start to heal what we're going through or what we're feeling. That's why it's like, you're ready for this. You're well and truly ready. You're not contemplating this anymore. Even if you might be like, I am, it doesn't feel like it at a soul level. It's like your soul's ready. You're ready. Ready to start moving some of this bullshit around. Oh, salvation. Interesting with Jesus, right? Because Jesus is supposed to be seen as like someone who fixes everything or just like fixes it by dying or whatever happened. But anyway, it's like this, the salvation is really uplifting oneself rather than uplifting or telling other people how to live, right? It's more like this is coming from within, which I feel like both characters really embody quite nicely. Anyway, it says, let go of anger and unforgiveness. Let my flame of love illuminate your heart. I can help free you from emotional pain. Ooh, they're really going into this like emotional stuff, right? If you do not know the right words to say, call upon me and I'll speak through your heart. Oh, the heart. Yes, getting into the heart space. I know we're talking about the lower chakras, which isn't worse, right? They're our foundation, our power, our energy, our like love, sex, all that kind of stuff. And even like more into the solar plexus, I always see that as the identification of who we are, how we identify in this world, how we relate to ourselves, and express that outwards and show it outwards too. But this is moving into the heart space, bringing that energy up into the heart space. And how does it feel to act from here? Because you don't want to always act from your root chakra where you're acting out of like fight or flight or like basics, basically the ground stuff, unless you've been dropped into the middle of a jungle, right? Then react out of that. But you're probably not in the jungle, so you don't need to fight for survival. This is really about making decisions that are right for you from the heart space, regardless of your situation. Okay, I'll continue forward. So really nice, peace and salvation. That is how we are going to really move through this idea that war is the only way to bring peace, right? This peace is what's going to bring us freedom, really. And that's what I believe, no matter what side of political side you're on, or no matter what you believe in religiously, peace is what you want, right? So why would you be acting in a way that incites war, hate, or violence? Like, there's nothing wrong with protesting, especially if it's exposing or showing a way that people aren't doing the right thing for the community, right? Or for its people. But it never has to be violent. It never has to be dangerous for other people. And if you're participating in that, you need to recognize it. That's on one side. The other side is this idea of needing to heal. You will set yourself free if you start moving through some of the past pains or the pains that you're holding on to at this time. You've got a good protector here. Your spirit guides kind of feel like this pyrite. They're here to safeguard you no matter what decision you make. Even if it turns into a lesson, you will be fine. You'll be guided through it. Okay. Restraint, play within the rules, or playing within the rules. Sometimes this can be a good idea to check whether you are not necessarily just playing within the rules. I'm just going to change the music to, what's this one? Sparks of Light, 999 hertz, because the music just finished. But this one is one where there's two sides to it, whether a need to have structure in life is what's required, or to realize the structure is actually harming or hurting you. So it's like identifying what is right. And that's where playing within the rules. Sometimes we need to kind of like rein stuff in because our energy is way too wild and outside of ourselves, and we need to focus into what's important. Or it's the opposite, right? We've become a sheep or a follower to a particular person or being, and now it's okay to reflect and see if that's the right path for us or not. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm following, like, let's say, because Jesus is here, I'm following the teachings, but that the teachings aren't being followed or are reflected in the church or the group that I'm kind of in. So maybe I need to reevaluate, right? Not to say you should disband anything or go against anything like that, but if you believe something and people aren't following those belief systems, then are you actually following the teachings, or are you just following a group? Ooh, yeah. Put yourself out there. Put yourself first is really important here. The star is finding, kind of like here, he's finding success through his own way, like pathing his own way. And that's exactly what, like Jesus did, right? He pathed his own way through obviously assistance and understanding, comprehension, through what he learnt and believed in wherever he studied, right? Or whatever happened in his unknown years. I keep bringing him up because he's just standing there. But you know, it's a really nice card too. It's really pretty. Lots of long hair. This is just random, but there's like, he's got a man bun and like long hair. It kind of feels like he's got long hair. Obviously, Jesus traditionally has been drawn to be, well, white, but also has long hair. This is the only bald guy. It's like maybe it's time to let your hair grow, right? Let yourself expand. Let yourself not be restricted. Not that bald people are doing that. It's just like the play off with it, right? Hope you understand my meaning from it. All right, these ones can be reversed or upright, but I'm going to only read them upright for the purpose of this reading. So you've got the Seven of Cups, decision time. It really is decision time. You've got a lot of choices, and choices can be a privilege because some people do not have choices. If you've ever watched anything from like North Korea, right, or anything like that, they're definitely, maybe not every single one, but there's a lot less there's a lot of restriction. It's a lot less freedom to be able to even contemplate anything that we're doing now, to even have time to watch these kind of videos, right? Or to be able to have the access to anything outside of the regime. So many decisions. This could be cutting cords as well. This rainbow is kind of split. It could be a time to cut some old cords with your past, with the people around you. Some of the people might just not resonate. I know that there's people in my life that I do not resonate with anymore. And does that mean I abuse them or hurt them? No. I let them live their life freely as they do. If we need to engage because of some kind of event, then, you know, we'll keep it light. I won't have like long, deep conversations unless it feels called to, right? So don't feel like you need to be or do anything for anyone else. They need to live their life. And if they're living it wildly, then they've chosen that. It's not your responsibility. Lovers card is coming out everywhere today. from different decks, different styles, but Lover's card. I like this, right? There's this like ethereal person in the sky, but you've got these two people here who are connecting. Lover's card is a decision as well. So many choices. Like traditionally, like real traditionally, like way back, the Lover's card was a decision between like a man is standing in the middle and he's like deciding whether he should marry who his family want, which will bring prestige to the family, will uplift the family's house, you know, back in the day, kind of like they have houses and stuff, like, which is like your, I don't know, prestige and all this kind of like rich people bullshit, right? Or he decides to pick the woman that he loves, which will not bring that kind of stuff, but will bring him peace and happiness and probably what he actually wants out of life, instead of going with someone that maybe he doesn't love. Maybe she's a lovely person, but he doesn't love her, right? So it doesn't matter whether they're good or bad. I mean, it probably makes it easier if they're nice and sweet and a good person, but that's not what this is about. This is about choosing from the heart space, and you are being slapped in the face over and over again with this reading of choosing what feels right to you. What you love, right? What's going to bring you maybe even fame, who knows? I don't think that's the point of this, is fame, but it could even come up in some ways, right? It's like, it's not the pursuit of fame, but by pursuing stuff within your heart, you become someone that people look up to, or someone that people are inspired by. So much time. There's so much like to contemplate in this reading, right? Contemplation. Like, these are all contemplation cards. This is the 7 of Pentacles or 7 of Coins, and this person here is waiting, right? Sometimes it's the person who's like kind of befuddled a little bit. They want the fruit now, but you can't have the fruit if you haven't already planted the seed. So, you know, plant the seed. I used to think, this is really random, but I used to think about this when I was younger. I was like, why would I plant a tree now if it takes like 10 years to grow? What's the point? And that was probably like 20 years ago. I could have had the tree. I don't know if I'd been still in the same property, but maybe someone else would have enjoyed it, right? Why not just plant the freaking tree? Plant something, put something out there. You know, follow the beat of your own drum is really important with this reading. I feel like once you come to that decision, you'll be able to make and select the choice that is what's within your heart space. And it's not like love, because I feel like someone or some people are seeing that as like, oh, I'll go with this person because I love them, right? But if someone's like hitting you, abusing you, rude to you, treats you poorly, is that love? Or are you just settling? Ask yourself that and decide where you want to move with that in mind. Because you can do that if that's what you feel is right. No one's going to stop you from following your heart. But I want to pull a couple of cards to just see if you do decide to move forward with where your heart goes. What are the benefits, no matter what card comes through, what are the benefits of choosing you, right? What are the benefits of choosing you? Here, you start to get out of this funk, like literally the 4 of Cups, right? It's sometimes the bratty card where the person's like, ugh, it never works out for me, that kind of thing. But it's getting out of this depression, this funk, this kind of like sadness, and taking this cup and moving forward with something that you actually brings your heart fulfillment. Woo, okay. That card flipped up. So you've got this person here who is creating their own future. Yeah, you might want to, like, look, these cards aren't showing it like it's perfect, right? But when you start to decide what you want out of your own life, you get out of this funk, you start to see the benefits or the blessings that are around, which could be like the ability to pick up and start to change work, jobs, people in your life, whatever. and path your own way. The Eight of Pentacles is a skill. It's someone who is skilled in something, or at least is working towards mastery, but they're doing it their way. Like, that's how this energy is feeling. It's like, I'm going to choose what I feel is right. The benefit is I get to do things my way instead of other people deciding for me. I've seen that in my family and other, like my extended family, right? And different people in my life, where some people are just coasting by and some people love that because it's smooth and easy, and that's perfectly fine. But it's not for them. This is for the people who are not enjoying their life, not enjoying things, not feeling connected to their body self or like their soul, right? So this is the path that leads to actually finding that, actually finding what is fulfilling. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that really helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Otherwise, look after yourself. Pile number 3, take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you next time.